Hey everyone, this is Dalton at Daltonians TFs, and today we're taking a look at the, obviously, Transformers Combiner Wars Onslaught. Quick look at the packaging, you got the artwork, figure. It says Onslaught, of course, picture of Bruticus, and on the back it says, Onslaught has made the Combaticons into nearly unstoppable strike force. He commands his team with the precision of a general, and expects them to carry out his brilliant plans to perfection. He, of course, forms the torso of Bruticus and 13 steps. So let's go ahead and open the packaging and go from here. Alright, and here we have Onslaught in vehicle mode, and again, obviously it is a repaint retool of Hotspot. Real quick, let's bring them in. And right now, as you can see, yeah, I mean, let's get these off here. The way they've done it is they've flipped around the vehicle. They've remolded this, so instead of having these nozzles here, you just have a couple of what looks like storage compartments. And back here, they've removed the front end of the fire truck, place for the new feed in robot mode. The rest will be shown, you know, as the backpack and as Bruticus. Real quick though, let's take a look at the collector card. Pretty much just this version of Onslaught, and he's pointing to something like over there. I don't know. Anyways, getting onto the figure, I mean, it does roll just fine. The wheels aren't exactly black; they're kind of this deep olive green, along with the structure on here. Let me adjust the exposure here just for a second so you guys can see that. Like right along here, it's kind of that olive green. Especially tell right there, so it's, there we go, it's a little bit easier to tell. So that is a little odd. But as far as paint, there's not a lot here. I mean, you've got the Decepticon symbols, for some reason, the light bar on the back. But there's more paint in vehicle mode. I'm assuming with the Takara one, we'll get some camouflage, maybe. Or just a few paint apps here and there that we didn't get here. Now, one other thing I did purchase for this is the G1 gun for Onslaught and Bruticus, but we'll show that more in robot mode real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, and one other thing you can do is you can take Shockwave here, and like I said before, he's got this weird little notch. Just store it right there on the back of Onslaught. Now, it isn't stable whatsoever. Mainly due to the connection here not being so tight, and there's nothing really like fully gripping it. I mean, even pushing these two together, he's going to fall right out. And the best way you can get this turret to move while he's on it is just raising it up. That's really it. I mean, moving around, not really an option right now. You can also raise up the cannons individually if you don't want to raise up the middle section. Now, I stand corrected, you can actually just flip these panels up, and that will allow you to rotate around the giant turret. So I kind of like the heavy militarized armored vehicle over the flatbed semi-truck. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but you know, it's my opinion. It doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make me right. I mean, it makes me right in my own way, but just because someone else disagrees doesn't make them wrong, make me wrong, or make them wrong. It's my personal preference. I mean, I actually really like the Universe Onslaught. I wish I'd gotten that figure. Anyways, here you can tell we've got the, for some reason, dual command pods or driver pods. Don't know why. It's odd, but cool. You do have a little emergency light dome on this side, so I don't know what's going on with that. Now, as far as the transformation, it is fairly similar to Hotspot. Just want to actually come up here and split the front end of the truck. Bring these out. Maybe raise my camera will help. Rotate the shoulders down. Back here, raise this up. Split the legs apart. And bring them down. Yes, I know there's another step. I'll get to it in just a second. Rotate the legs, and you want to push on the, I don't know how you can see it, you want to push on this section here until you get that kind of stair step, or, you know, kind of down, over, and down. And that will just plug into the back there. Do the same on this side. Flip forward the toes, and bring out the heel spurs, which are newly molded for this figure. Now from here, I just want to zoom out. And let's raise up the camera. Now here you want to bring down the arms. Rotate these up. Rotate these all the way down. They will snap into place. Come down here. Open up the panel and flip up the head. And it doesn't stay too secure. I hope they fix that with the running change version if they are still working on that. But there he is, Onslaught, looking very, very nice. He actually beats out Hotspot for me as one of my favorite combiner torsos. As you've probably seen in my top 10 video of 2015, or top 5, whatever you want to call it. Do really love the paintwork, especially here on the chest. You got all this circuitry and little diodes, I guess. Love the sculpting on the head too. It's also kind of this really deep mix of purple and the olive green. You got the visor. As far as articulation goes, it's exactly the same. Head is on a swivel, I believe. It's either a swivel or a ball joint. It's just kind of limited. Shoulders ratcheted in and out. You can use that joint as well. Rotate at the bicep, double jointed elbows. Ratcheting hips. A little bit tighter than on Hotspot, and along with the knees being much tighter. I do love this gunmetal gray they went with on the thighs. It's a nice contrast to the steel blue and the olive green. I do like the purple here on the waist. Still don't understand why they went with purple here. I guess just to add detail and get some more purple and detailing here. As far as weapons go, I mean, you've got these, which I'm not taking them off ever. They're going to stay as his shoulder cannons. But that's why I got this. Just plugs right into his hand. It is just slightly larger than 5mm, or yeah, looks very nice. I'm glad I got this weapon for him, and it matches very nicely with the paint. So, if you are needing to get a gun for Bruticus or for Onslaught, go ahead and get one of these. They're like $8. I know it's a high price to some, but it's not bad considering it's just a gun. So, as far as the combination to Bruticus, actually, real quick, let's go ahead and do a size comparison or just straight up comparison between the molds of him and Hotspot. So let's go ahead and get him transformed. Okay, so here we have him with Hotspot, and as you can see, yes, they are very similar since they share the same base mold, but you can see just a few changes they made with the chest, the shoulders, obviously the head, and the feet, along with the entire backpack assembly and the heels. Whereas on Hotspot, he just has these little tiny nubs. Here you've got the little nubs and the newly molded heel spurs. It would be nice if someone could recreate these to add to Hotspot instead of having to use the entire ladder assembly as a third leg. But they do contrast well with each other, and it kind of works with them being opposing forces. I mean, it works. I mean, you can still get them into a nice variety of poses. Especially just holding that rifle, ready to lead his Combaticons to glory. And beat the crap out of Starscream while he's at it. And I like this. I like to think of this as the embodiment of the fall of Cybertron, Onslaught in an Earth mode. I know it leads into the line continuity from what others have told me, but I still see it as a pre-G1 modern update, so this is the way I see it with this Onslaught. Can't wait for the G2 upgrade, can't wait for, Bludgeon. Really good use of the mold, and like I said before, by far my favorite Voyager class. just narrowly beating out Superion or Silverbolt. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. Let's go ahead and do the combination mode. As far as the official goes, we'll show off the way I like to do it in the video with the entire team. Just do it like you would with Hotspot into Defensor. Just fold up. Make sure everything is lined up and tabbed in. Of course, you flip the head down. Bring these up just for the time being. You want to fold these arms up just as you did before with Hotspot. Come on. There we go. We'll bring these sections down just like so. Then you want to rotate the entire assembly here and bring these wings out and rotate up these shoulders. Rotate this down. It will snap into place. Bring back the rear assembly while flipping up the guns. And you want to peg these into place. And there you've got Onslaught in Bruticus mode. Now it is very similar to the G1 in the fact that the front end of the truck ends up here, yet this is a little bit exaggerated. But like I said before, it will be shown how I prefer to do it in the... Oh, bring this down. There we go. But yeah, like I said, I'll show the way I prefer to do it in the review. Real quick though, with the head, doesn't go too far. I don't know how well, if you can hear that at all, but it's kind of cracking. So I'm afraid to move it too far. But it is a nice deep gunmetal gray. I would have preferred, you know, silver to match, or just a shade darker than the mouth plate. But it doesn't look too bad. I do like the red eyes that they've done, the little metallic around the Decepticon symbol. And with these new, you know, tabs, I don't know if you can see it, there's the slot right there. And with that in place, these are a lot harder to move. You can actually see me moving it here and it's not going anywhere. Unlike the Hotspot where it just tabbed onto this little, one of the little sections on these shoulders. So they fixed that and I couldn't be happier with that. Go back there. And if you want to use these shoulder cannons, all you got to do is just flip them up like that. You can also store shockwave on the back right here, just like that. So you can use them as a jetpack or an even larger over-the-shoulder gun. So, yep. And of course everything falls off. So that pretty much does it for the review of Onslaught here. Like I said, he is one of my favorites. You'll see why when we combine them. I've also got the Perfect Effect upgrade for Bruticus. It is a little bit late, but I'm going to get it out for you guys. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I know I enjoyed this figure, so if you haven't yet, pick him up.